interesting to me that the Bolsheviks are more powerful today in America than ever before. And I have to ask again, are liberals mentally ill? Are they just psychotic? Are they evil? Or are they just ignorant, thinking that they're going to improve society by taking from those who have and give to those who have not? I recommend that you read the article, Liberalism, Psychosis, Evil, or Ignorance, from Pravda, which I republished on my website, michaelsavage.com, because they quote me in a certain way where I have to read what they wrote about me. It says, Dr. Michael Savage has been a successful national talk host since 1994. His grandfather escaped Russia's Bolshevik Revolution and came to the U.S. Savage was once a liberal when young, who later became a conservative. He is not your average talk show host. Savage is highly educated with 2 master's degrees, one in medical botany and the other in medical anthropology. Savage also has a Ph.D. from the University of California, Berkeley, in nutritional ethnomedicine. He has written 5 New York Times best-selling books, including Trickle Up Poverty and Trickle Down Tyranny. And it says, if you are in the public eye and speak the truth, you will be attacked. When people speak the truth against the king, his royal subjects try to silence them. Michael Savage was banned from Britain for saying too much that the Obama administration did not like. And he goes on, Pravda writes, or they write at Pravda. Leaders of liberalism have learned from Marx and Engels, who promised prosperity, justice, and freedom, but only brought chaos and death to their people. Chaos and death to their people. Chaos and death to their people. History has proven the terrible effect it has on the world. Liberals who led communism, socialism, and Marxism were all doomed and failed miserably. And yet what is shocking to me is that everything I've been preaching to you on the radio for these 18 years, everything I have predicted has come true. The fact of the matter is that everything that the Soviet Union tried to get rid of, because it killed people, it killed society, it killed prosperity, Obama and the demon cats are introducing in the United States of America as though it is something brand new and needs to be tried. And I suspected this would happen because when I was 18 years old, I was an avid reader of certain books, including everything that Aldous Huxley had written. Still one of the greatest, let's say, writers of that style writing. And Huxley wrote, way back in the 50s he said that as the world progresses and the closer the Soviet Union, the ex-Soviet Union today, and the United States come to working together, the United States would look more like the Soviet Union, and the Soviet Union would get to look more like the United States. Is that not true? Is that not what you see happening? And how is that happening? How are they doing it? They're doing it through an ignorant electorate, perhaps one of the most illiterate, ignorant electorates in the history of this country. Never before have we had so many millions of illiterate fools in this nation, so easily duped by lies that any any person educated to even the 6th grade 20 years ago would have understood what this is. But the fact of the matter is, there's much more to the story than that. Well, what else is there to the story? I'll tell you what else there is to the story, and that is voter fraud. I am convinced to this moment, and I may be the only one in America who will say it a few more times until eventually you hear it, that the election was stolen. Now, what proof do I have of that statement? It's really a proof in the negative. When you see liberal polls such as Gallup scratching their head after the election saying, we don't know how we can have it so wrong. It doesn't make sense. How did this happen? I explained to you last week that in science or in statistics, there's a term called confounding variable. And a confounding variable is a variable that the researchers fail to control or eliminate that damages an experiment. So what does that have to do with you? Well, when Gallup did their polls in advance of the vote, they looked at registered voters and likely voters. Now explain to me if an illegal alien is a registered voter? No. Is an illegal alien a likely voter? No. So millions of these illegal aliens elected Obama. Just like Arnold Rothstein fixed the 1919 World Series, so too do I believe that the presidential election of 2012 was stolen through voter fraud in the United States of America. I will tell you more about that as we go on. There are hundreds of thousands of websites advertising the purchase of fake documents in every language imaginable. Everywhere you go on the internet, you can buy a fake passport, a fake driver's license, a fake ID. It's endemic in the United States of America. And before the election, these sites were running in overdrive. You could probably go to a bodega in New York City and buy a fake driver's license, a fake passport, and a fake ID for $50 to $75. And you don't even need ID to vote in this country. Why don't you need ID? Because while many states tried to pass voter ID laws, the gang that stole the election got their big liberal liars up there to say that it was suppressing the vote. That demanding the minimal amount of voter ID would be the suppression of the minority vote. It was the greatest lie of the century. And the fact of the matter is, you need ID in order to drive a car, don't you? You need ID to go into a liquor store if you're 18 years old, don't you? But you don't need ID to vote in what was once a sacred act in the United States of America. Why not? Which party did not want voter ID? Why, it's the party that won through voter fraud. This is the Savage Nation. If you care to join the conversation, I will give you the numbers right now. Savage Nation is heard every night on your local station. 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. I'll be right back.
Savage.